Hello everyone and welcome to another Forza race. In this one we're going to be racing the Mazda MX-5 2017. These cars are really fun, so they're in a Spotlight playlist, and usually I do the races in the Spec Series playlists where cars are set up the same way in terms of the parts on the car. That stuff's all regulated, it's all set by turn 10. And you can change the setup of the car, like you can adjust the different settings, but you can't literally change the car parts. Now, in the open events, which I haven't really covered yet, so in these Spotlight series, where the Spotlight series is usually like one car, and so it's this Mazda in this one, or they'll do like the X-Class series, the A-Class, B-Class, whatever. It'll be completely open. So it's like the single player portion of the game where you can change the different parts of the car, and you can set up your car in a different way when it comes to that. I was a little aggressive on Pickle Rick's bumper here. My bad on that. That wasn't too bad, but I was going a little hot into that final corner. But yeah, so I mostly do those spec races, and because even with being able to adjust the other aspects of the car, it's usually a little more balanced, I find. But I still wanted to try these open events at some point, and I was kind of waiting for there to just be a car that I really liked. And I found it with this car. I really enjoy these Mazdas, and I just think they're really fun cars on like this type of track. Now there are some full-length circuit tracks in this playlist. So there's Laguna Seca, and I thought it was going to be the small version of Laguna Seca. Completely lost the car right there. I'm not sure why that happened, because I never really had anything like that happen in practice. I'm not really sure about that one. But anyways, yeah, so Laguna Seca, it's the full Laguna Seca circuit. They also have the Homestead road course, and I don't think that has a short version, not that I'm aware of. So those are, more full-length road courses, but most of the tracks in this are like small tracks. So here we have this small version of Suzuka. Surprisingly, Lime Rock is not featured. I thought it would be. You have the small version of Hakone. That one's pretty fun in these cars, I'll admit. I think that one's pretty good. Another one off the top of my head, Eagle Rock with the chicane, so not the oval version of the track. I kind of wish it was the oval version. I think that'd be kind of interesting in these cars. And I'm not a big fan of the chicane version of that track. And I might be forgetting one. I think that's all the tracks in this playlist. I might be forgetting one off the top of my head, so my bad if I am. But yeah, so mostly these like small variants of the tracks, and then a couple normal length ones on these cars. And I think it works. And this part of the race right here, I'm so sad. I guess he wanted to get a little bit back at me for the contact in turn 1, which I'd have to watch it back again. Man, that little bit of contact. I genuinely think there was a chance I could have made that pass if he didn't hit me on the outside, which would have been pretty sick. But we still get the crossover, and it was still cool. But yeah, that would have been a really nice move. I'd have to watch it back. It might have been on me. I kind of feel like the contact a lap ago, or was it 2 laps ago in turn 1, I gave him a little bit back there. I kind of felt like I had a tire on the, or not even a tire. I feel like I had almost like half my car on the inside, and I kind of feel like he just turned into me. But I'd have to go back and watch that one. But the reason why I wanted to post this race is because I wanted to highlight these cars and show that, they're really fun. Like, even though it's the Spotlight series, even though I tend to enjoy the spec stuff, once you get the car fully upgraded, it kind of turns into a spec series anyways, because most people are going to have them tuned the same way. Or sorry, not like the setup will be different, but most people are going to like choose similar parts, and it kind of turns into that anyways. There's just the period at the beginning when you first start racing where you got to level up the car, and you got to get the car parts to get the upgrades and stuff like that. But again, like once you get to that point, it kind of turns into, everybody is either on an equal playing field or close to it anyways. And I just love this car. Like, I think this is a really fun car. Like, if we ever did races on this game, I think this would be a fun car to like start off with. Do a series with this car on like small tracks. It's just really racy, and it's good for battles. And what I found with some cars is like the draft is really strong, and like with some of these like more basic like starter cars, it's like almost all draft. And the draft is important on these, but I found that you could still, for the most part, like race against people. Like, it wasn't all draft. Like, you could actually run some good laps, run some good turns. and break out of the draft, especially on a track like this where there's a whole section where it's just turns, turns, turns. Yeah, obviously, the straightaway right here, you can get some draft, but that whole other part of the track is just constant turning, and the draft isn't really going to do much. So if you run it a lot better than somebody, you can actually break away from it, and I think that's really cool. Now here is where the race gets interesting. This is part of the reason why I wanted to post this race. So I try to post races. I don't want to post races that are like I get wrecked out and don't really see much action. I don't want to post races for the most part where, unless I'm showing off a track where I like check out or something like that. I want to post races where it's interesting and there's some good battles. And obviously we had some good battles with the Pickle Rick guy early on in this race. But then here, halfway through the race, we get the rain. The rain comes in, and that adds a whole nother dynamic into this, especially because it's heavy rain. And I did a race on this track in this car, I don't know, like an hour and a half before this or so. And it was like light rain. So I expected it to be the same. I expected it to be the same or similar, and that was not the case. This rain was so much heavier than what I got, and I decided to stay out. And as you can see, if you look at the top left, I think pretty much everybody behind me says screw it, goes in the pits. And so when that happens, there's 2 to go, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of committed at this point. I'm just staying out. Like, even though it's way slower, I'm staying out. And I make a big mistake here, and this is going to make the race a lot more interesting. Now, at least I did an okay job of, you know, softening the blow, I guess. Like, it could have been a lot worse, but that was a pretty big mistake right there. And already when that happens, I'm thinking like, ah, shit, did I mess up? Like, this might be, you know, that might have been my chance to pit. And now I'm committed to this strategy, right? Like, I'm going to lose too much on this lap. I can't pit on the last lap and make it back up. So I'm just committed to staying out. And this just makes the race so much more interesting. And even though the battles with the Pickle Rick guy were fun in the beginning, this is the real reason why I wanted to upload this race, because this whole rain section at the end. And also, I've done a video on this Suzuka when I showcase like the BMWs. I did a video on this small Suzuka track earlier, but just the nighttime, the Ferris wheel lit up, the rain coming in. This track is awesome, dude. Like, the full version too. I love this track. This is one of my favorites in the game, and it just looks incredible at night. Like, I really love this track. But anyways, here we go. That's the only sad thing. These short races, there's just so much more I want to talk about, but I can only get through so much. I'll have to maybe do some other uploads on these cars because I think these are really fun. But here we go into the last lap, and we're going to watch me try to manage it. You can see the gap, about 10 seconds with the Pickle Rick guy, and I'm going to try to hold that, which seems like plenty of time, but again, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. You can tell I'm struggling. My tires are going down. It's going to be close. But yeah, I guess as like a final thought, since I didn't get to go through everything in this video, try out this playlist, try out this car while it's still available. I think it's really fun. I'd love to do some more racing in this car in the future. I would love to see them bring it back as well. I think that'd be really fun. But yeah, only thing, I wish there was more of these short tracks in the playlist. I wish it was like a rotation of 8 or 10 tracks instead of like 5 like it is. Because I think these short tracks, especially like Lime Rock, was just an obvious one that should have been in. They fit this car really well. This car races really well on those tracks, and it's fun. And it's not what we're used to doing in this game generally, doing the full circuits. So it's a nice change of pace. But here we go through the last corner, trying to get the power down, trying to hold on to the win. The Pickle Rick dude is bringing a head of steam behind me and trying to hold on to it. And at the line, we get it, 0.3 gap. And to be fair, I do think I made the right strategy call. I think it was just that mistake. If I took it a little bit easier, if I didn't go off track the one time, it wouldn't have been a 0.3 gap. It would have been probably like a 3 or maybe even 5 second gap. So maybe for them, maybe they needed to pit like a lap earlier, maybe, because I think the rain came out a little bit earlier. People didn't pit right away. I think that maybe it just wasn't enough time for the rain tires to make up, especially in a short race. I'm not sure. But either way, that added a whole new dynamic into it. I wanted to upload that race because that race is really cool. I like this track. I like it at night. The rain coming in makes for a really cool race. Love the car too. So definitely check out these cars if you get a chance. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video and look forward to some more Forza stuff. I'll try to do at least one more race in these cars while they're available because, again, I think they're pretty fun. I'll try to do one of the layouts that I haven't uploaded a video on as well. So I'm not sure which one that'll be, but we'll see. Maybe Laguna Seca. All right. See you guys in the next one.